Be very welcome to my channel. I'm Ana de Almeida. I'm a researcher that works for industry, for consultancy projects, for businesses. My role is to bring information to the people that need information that's reliable. And one problem I have today with scientific information is the way our stories are being told to people and to readers. I would like to invite you to reflect a little bit about headlines you see on pollution, on water, on environmental problems. How do you feel about that? I don't need to tell you much to share that. Personally, I feel quite disturbed by reading pollution news, by reading about the climate emergency. And one of the problems I see that we could do better is being more focused on solutions. So when you tell me there is a problem in my water, I want to know how do I evaluate that problem? Where do I find the information for that pollutant? And how do you remove from the water? Do I need to remove it from the water? What do I do? When you tell me about ingredients for food, what is the problem? How do I find information? How do I find solutions? When you tell me about microplastics, and here is where I think we lose people, we lose readers, is that if you tell me that everything is doomed, and you know what, we are in this sea of information that's so overwhelming that nobody can make sense of it, it's a problem. So I think one of the reasons why we have so much scientific denial is because there is such an overload of information. First, because science itself is quite intricate, and the way science is produced, I am sorry to say, but very often is only made for scientists to read. I have been a postdoctorate in 2 universities. I have done a PhD. I have a master's degree. I have 2 degrees. I know very well about academia, and I'm not saying that all of academia is like this, but a lot is. And I think that's why in the producing of science itself, we already are missing that power of narrative, that we could really tell good stories to people when they're not doing it, because the important thing is to publish papers, right? Publish papers that we have to pay to publish, we have to pay to read them, and then a lot of them could be even retracted. So this is, for me, is a tragedy. And then, a lot of those stories are not brought to the public. Why this is not happening enough? Why, if you decide to be a scientist, you have to just forget about communication because you're so overworked. You have absolutely no resources to dedicate for your communication effort. I know because I've done a postdoc on this very topic. Not on my field, not on pollution, but with energy reuse from water networks. And I was the person responsible for the communication in the project because the actual academics did not have the resources. And this was correct. This was good, a good example of how to do things. But I don't see much of that effort out there. And it's not enough. And then when you have a lot of scientific information that could be useful for me and you, it's brought in a way that's so overwhelming, so scary, so that generates inaction. So I would like to propose you, especially for people that have accumulated degrees like I did, to start telling stories about how do we bring science for businesses, for people, for regulators in a way that scientific knowledge is useful, informs, and empowers. Not make everybody scared and run away from science. Thanks for watching. See you for my next video on scientific communication and pollution solutions. See you soon.